Hi there, my name's Clint. I'm with Ivy League Vapor Shop, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial of what you need to know to start vaping for people brand new at this. Anyways, I'm going to start out with my EVOD 2 kit, which is made by Kangertech. And they are authentic kits, which means that there's lots of clones out there, but I sell actual ones that are made by Kangertech. On the back here, you got an ID number right there, and you just punch that into, you go to Kangertech or qr.szkangertech.com, so www.qr. Anyways, then you type in that there's a little ID number, there's a little ID number right above my finger there, right above that square. You punch that in for where there's a link there that'll ask for if you want to check to see if it's authentic. And then you can be sure you're getting good product. It's not cheap product like the clones that are out there. Anyways, so come in plastic like this. This plastic's all crunkled up because I've put it in and out of there quite a few times during my other reviews and stuff. I have a review on this as well. But this video is just for brand new beginners to e-cigs and stuff like that. Just to give you a quick little rundown of what it does and everything, and how to fill it, common problems. Once in a while you might have an issue with it leaking, the way, and I'll explain that, how to get rid of those leaking problems and stuff. Anyways, yeah, so it's a Kangertech EVOD 2 kit, which the kit of course comes in two, so you have two of them, right? And then underneath this here, you pull that out, and you got your extra coils right here, and then in here is your USB charger. Anyways, so this is how you take it apart. You always hold the silver band and twist the battery off the bottom. Okay, there you go. And that way your liquid is still going to stay in here if you have liquid. If you need to change batteries, whatever. But if you need to actually refill the tank with more fluid, then you hold the black here and you spin the center silver piece out. When you pull that out, if there's any fluid in that, it's now open, so you don't want to lay it on its side because you'll get it everywhere. If there's no fluid in it, or very little, or what I just always do is I just simply put it on the table here. Here, I'm gonna move it down there for you. There you go. So then you have this, you place it on the table like this. It'll actually hold there. And then this piece right here, if you twist this piece out, this is your replacement coil. And then of course this is just your base for your replacement coil and the silver ring and everything. Anyways, this is just a standard dual coil replacement coil, which runs at 1.5 ohms. If you look, you have to look really closely, you can see it. Easiest way to tell if it's a single, the difference between a single coil and a dual coil is the amount of holes. If I could get it to focus there, I'm having a hard time. You see those holes there? There's one about midway, and then there's another hole just above this. There you go. You can see it better now. See that there's two holes there, and then of course there's two holes on the other side. Anyways, so what you do is you just screw that back on, or if you need to replace the coil, you just obviously get a new one of these and just screw it in the same spot here. And when you screw it on, just do hand tight. You don't have to go nuts on it. Hand tight is fine, just snug is good. If it does leak, snug it up a little bit more, but most of the time it won't leak if you just snug it in. You will get leaks if you over tighten this, because of course you keep on tightening and tightening. That rubber, there's a rubber seal just underneath that'll actually wear out if you use it for long enough and tighten it too much, because you pinch it off and it flattens out. Anyways, so here's your tank here. this holds 1.6 milliliters of fluid, of e-liquid. If you can look at right inside there, you can see that there's a metal shaft that goes 3/4 the way up. When you fill up your tank, don't fill it past that. Just fill it just about to the top of that shaft, because of course that shaft is your center breathing hole, which is what, when you are vaping, that's where the vapor comes up through into your mouth. If you overfill it, you're going to get liquid pouring down everywhere, and of course when you go to use it, you're going to have fluid in that chamber, and you're going to be like that, and you're going to get that fluid in your mouth, and it's not very good tasting. So anyways, I'm going to try Banana Foster. Banana Foster by Vapour Eclipse. These are one of my flavors that I offer. And then what you do is, when you pour this into here, don't pour it down the center chamber, of course, because that's your breather hole, like I just said. So you want to pour it down the side. So you put it at like a 15, 30 degree angle, somewhere in there, and then you have it so then the visible, the little window there, so then you can actually see the fluid come up. You pour, you pour, you pour, drip, drip, drip. There you go. You can start seeing it now. Drip, 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 drip. I leave about a millimeter before the top of that. That way, less a little extra room. Then you just slide that down, and this actually slides inside that tube, that center tube. And then just twist it on. Same thing with this one. Snug, that's all you need. And then you put it, and then after that you can shake it all you want, and you can see that it's not leaking anywhere. It's because the seals are doing their job. And then what I usually do, I get some paper towel here, and I just wipe the fluid, because when you're pouring the fluid at that with a little bit of when you're refilling stuff, sometimes a little bit of fluid gets in those rings, and sometimes it does. There is a chance that if your atomizer or your replacement coil isn't totally tight when you take it off, there might be a little bit of fluid leaking. And if you get fluid, see this in the middle of this battery here, there's that post there. That post is just a floating post, which means that there's a spring behind it, and it stays pretty much stationary most of the time, because it usually is supposed to pop out and make connection with the bottom of the replaceable coil. Of course, that replaceable coil has a hole going through the center of it. That's how you get your airflow in these. So you need that hole or a little bit of air to be able to get through the center of that coil. So then, if you notice on this silver thing here, there is little holes, 1 millimeter holes. And that is where you get your airflow. So when you go like that, you get air and the mist all together, or the vapor at the same time. So anyways, you screw it down here, and I turn the battery off here, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then flashes. That means you're good. Then you can just there you are. Usually what I do is with these ones, as I'm about to vape, as it's called, take a puff, whatever you want to call it. As soon as you start, as soon as you go like that, then you push the button, hold it for a desired amount. However, you start off small when you're first starting to smoke. A lot of people have end up coughing and stuff, because instead of it being a mist or like on smoking, you have a dry puff with your cigarette and stuff like that. It's all dry, so when you go like that and into your lungs and then exhale again, it's a lot smoother. With the mist, it's a different feeling. It's very misty, so it's not really wet. In fact, these actually dehydrate you a little bit. You notice if you start vaping and stuff that you will end up wanting to drink more water and stuff like that, or more fluids of some sort, because it is a dry mist, because it's not like water or anything like that. It's propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and whatever food flavorings you have in depending on the flavor that you get. Um, anyways, propylene glycol is in common products such as like fog machines at a concert. Um, it's in a lot of it's a propellant is what it is. Um, they say there's naysayers on e-cig saying, oh, they're it's the same stuff that they put in uh, antifreeze. It is in some like RV antifreeze and stuff like that. It is in them, but it's not the poisonous part of antifreeze. It's just it lowers the temperature of freezing, and that's why it's propellant. The other part of e-liquid is called vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin is there to make the smoke when you exhale, the puff of whatever. Because if you have 100% PG, it's a really hard throat hit. So that's another reason for VG, is it lessens the throat hit. Some people like lots of throat hit, but if you had 100% PG and fluid and food coloring, it's just really like way too high. It makes people cough almost instantly. So they found out that vegetable glycerin will lessen the throat hit. It also lessens the flavor too. But that's why we have the ratios. And on top of it, it produces the vapor when you blow it back out again. Some people, it just feels strange when you smoke, you are vaping something and you blow it out and there's absolutely no vapor coming out. It doesn't simulate the smoking sensation as much as having flavor. So